Sydney Grace just came out with a brand new set of makeup brushes. This company is known for their eyeshadows. They make amazing, super high quality eyeshadows. So I was really curious to see what this foray into brushes would be like for them. I purchased the face set for $55. You get 5 brushes, and the eye set for $50. You get 9 brushes. So on a per brush price, this is really, really good pricing. Let's see if they're worth it. One of the brushes is a foundation brush, so I'm going to start with that. Of course, I'm comparing it to my IT Cosmetics brushes for Ulta, the Airbrush 101. It is a similar diameter to that brush, which I appreciate, but the bristles on this brush are quite a bit longer, and because of that, they move a lot more. So that's definitely different. My first impression is I don't like it, but I think that's simply because it is different. It's a nice soft brush. It's a comfortable brush. I find that does make it a little harder to buff in the foundation when the bristles are moving around like that. I had to look on my camera for my elapsed time because I know I'm going to edit this way down. 4 minutes. 4 minutes is how long I have been working my foundation in with this brush, and I'm not liking it any better. This foundation, this is the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau. I reviewed it just a couple of weeks ago. I love it. I love how it goes on with a brush. I am not loving how it goes on with this brush. I feel like with the extra length and how these bristles are moving around, that it is not working the foundation into my skin. And I know like my pores shouldn't be super visible with this foundation, and they are. So, and I gotta say, I found it uncomfortable to hang on to, you know, for a foundation brush where I am working it in. This tapered handle just doesn't work for me. I also noticed when I took the wrappers off of these, the brushes themselves don't have any numbers on them. So I apologize for that. Yeah, they don't have any numbers. The packaging, as you saw, had numbers. These don't have numbers on them. So this is the largest face brush. So I'm going to use that for my setting powder. I do like this brush. What I like about it, it's very soft. It's very dense. There's a bunch of bristles here, so I felt like it picked up the powder really well. And then as I was moving it around my face, it was depositing the powder down, and that little bit of a tip let me really work it into areas that I wanted to work it into. So I do like the big powder brush. Let's do a little contour, and this is the brush that I'm going to use for that. Maybe not the best brush for contour. Again, long bristles, pretty soft. I am used to using a shorter bristled brush. And this, I feel like, has made my contour a little messier than I'm used to. Yeah, it doesn't normally take me nearly that long to do my contour. This is the angled brush, which I'm going to use for blush. That is a nice brush for blush. It's a little smaller than I would like. I have some other angled blush brushes that are bigger, and at least for my size face and where I like to apply blush, that is really hard to say. I do like a bigger brush than this one. And for highlighter, we've got one more brush that I haven't used yet. It is this one. It's not a size I would usually use for highlighter. This might have made a better contour brush. It did the job nicely. First impressions, not a super huge fan of the face brush set. Sometimes the bristles are too long, sometimes the brushes aren't big enough. Let's try the eye brushes. This looks like a crease brush, perhaps a little larger than what I would usually use, but let's give it a go. Long bristles and the density of this brush, I felt like the brush was moving around a lot, but it did a good job. This looks like a smaller crease brush, so I'm going to try to do a, that was a big wash of color in my crease. I'm going to try to do a narrower band of color now, right actually in my crease. I like this brush a bit better. I'm going to give this one a try. Well, this brush picks up a nice amount of product. There's an angled brush that I'm going to try. And then there is also a flat shader brush. And those both did a fine job. I will say I do prefer my Morphe M432 flat shader brush to this one. It is just a little stiffer, so it's a performance that I'm more used to. I guess this could be a blending brush. I'll give it a try. I'm used to blending brushes being a little fluffier. This one's pretty dense for blending, although it worked fine. There is not a small brush like you would use for inner corner of your eye. This one looks kind of like a smudger brush, but it's a little bit longer. I'm going to try it for underneath my brow. Well, since there is just the one big powder brush in this set, I'm going to use that for my finishing powder. There's nothing wrong with the quality. For me, it's the design, and they're just really different than the everyday brushes that I use. And so for me, it's not a good fit. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably also enjoy this one and this playlist.